And we are back. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash. Right there is our guy, former 76ers point guard, Eric Snow, and my brother, Teja Dash. Guys, we are back. It's been a couple months since, we last met. We last met in mid-July to kind of talk about off-season evaluations. So, taking a couple months off to kind of recalibrate and see the lay of the land across the league. And it's not a better way to start the NBA season than to come on and start our podcast of this 2025-2026 NBA season with Joel Embiid coming back. Last time we talked about there was no new updates about Joel Embiid, and now our update is Joel Embiid will be playing in this preseason game tonight. So before we get into all that, how is everyone doing? How was your, how was your summer, and how was the beginning of your fall?
Going well. Can't complain. Busy, but normal this time of the year.
I want to just say that, we were taking time off and we'd only come back once Joel decided to come back. So that's, singing solidarity and trying to
hopefully we can keep coming back then.
Yeah, well, from here on out, we'll come back. But, Joel hopefully will too.
So with that, I'm already seeing comments here from people. We got Quillfire Sound to believe or not to believe. That is the question every year. And I responded back saying that they are giving us something to believe, something tonight. And then he said, man, I really hope so. I want Joel to have the most epic comeback season destruction in NBA history. I ain't asking for much. Neither are we. Neither are we.
Just some hope.
Just some hope. So tonight is the preseason finale, and Joel Embiid will be playing tonight. At first, when I sent the topics out last night, it was more like, what are you looking forward to in this preseason finale? Now it's confirmed that Joel Embiid will be playing tonight. I don't know how much he's going to be playing, but we're going to get to see Joel Embiid for the first time in a while. And I think I just read it's the first preseason game since he's played in since October of 2023. So it's been a while that we've seen Joel Embiid in preseason. What do you make of Joel Embiid playing tonight, and what are you kind of looking forward to in seeing this game tonight, guys?
Well, I think him playing tells me that they feel he's closer to being ready during the regular season, and they just want to kind of him, and they want to see where he's at and how he responds to a game. Like you can do all the practicing and all the workouts you want, but it's nothing that can simulate to a game. So the thing about it is but we'll get to see we've seen enough of Joel. We've seen his dominance that we'll everybody will know when you see it, whether he's close or not. But I think just giving it a shot before the season starts tells me that, like I said, I think he's closer to actually suiting up than maybe we were led to believe. So hopefully it goes well. I mean, hopefully it looks good and it goes well, and it's encouraging for him to, get started next week.
First and foremost, it's so interesting because usually, when you're watching a preseason game with your guys, you just want to see them kind of just play well and shoot well and, play like themselves. With Joel, it's just so different because we're just looking to see if he looks right? Like, not even I don't want to see if he shoots 6 of 10. I don't even care about that. I just want to see how he moves. I just want to see if that looks closer to, what we know him to be, right? I don't want to get my hopes up too much and jump to conclusions because it is his first game action back. But just at the baseline of that, it's great. I mean, it's great news, and it's really encouraging that they feel that comfortable in having him play in a preseason game, right? Because it seems like this time more than other times in the past that he's had a much larger hand in the decision-making of the timetable of his return. It seems like he was a little more vocal this time and taking more of a hands-on approach. So if he's saying, if he's playing tonight, then he's saying he's ready to play tonight, which is great. It's basically, instead of saying it, it's in action, right? I'm ready. So, I want to see how he moves. I want to see how he's used. I want to see how much he plays and for what stretches. Everything, right? Maximize his minutes as much as possible with other guys on the floor because we don't know how long we're going to have him out there tonight. So try different combinations, try different rotations, the spacing, make the most of his minutes, ball moving with and without him. I'm just just really curious to see everything involving him.
The one thing I've seen from Sixers fans online since this came out that he's playing today, and also Chris Haynes reported last night that that he won't be playing back-to-backs this season, which we knew that going into last season. That was the big report, right? Season hadn't begun yet, but Joel will not be playing back-to-backs. So that's what Chris Haynes is reporting, that the back-to-backs seem out the window this year. But the one thing I've seen from Sixers fans online is just because he's playing tonight doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be playing in the opener next Wednesday against the Celtics. What do you make of that, Eric and Tej? Do you think this means he's a lock to play and that Wednesday game, barring everything goes well tonight, or is it just we want to see what he looks like in a game before we even get to the regular season?
I mean, I don't think it's a lock. No, I do not think it's a lock. What I think is it kind of answers questions that people may have, or that they may have, their group may have, about how you feel. Because sometimes you can say, oh, I'm feeling good, or I'm feeling better, or I'm this is what I think. But you actually need a game to kind of determine that. Then we don't really know his mental capacity, his conditioning, his movement. Like you gonna get hit. So you're not playing in practice where people are, cautious or gauging how their interactions with you. Like people are trying to take your head off. So we don't really know how he's going to respond to that. So I think it's part of a plan to see where he's at, not necessarily kind of this is where we are and he's back. I just think it's just all part of a plan to see where he's at. I wouldn't be surprised if he played or not played, but if I had to choose one, I would probably say that he would probably not be available next Wednesday. That's what I would say. Because I think if he was – the reason why I say that is if I felt that he was going to be available next Wednesday, they would be doing this. They would have done this last week.
That's a good point. They would have started this whole process earlier. It sounds like this is like the ramp-up start, right? I don't want to use the ramp-up terms again.
Yes.
It sounds like this is like the start of the ramp-up.
And it's a preseason game instead of having him do a trial basis in a regular season game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where you're at in the preseason versus the regular season.
So you think it's more about like where he's at? Because I was thinking in two different ways. Like where he's at right now in preparation for Wednesday, or the other side of that is how he's going to react to tonight.
My expectations aren't very high because like I've always told you guys, like you can do all of this training, you can do all this stuff you want to do. The game is different. Mm-hmm. Like the reaction time, the going full go, people are banging you. Other teams, especially during the regular season, they're going to game plan to make you move more, to make you guard the pick and roll, pull you out, get you out the paint, double you, like all of those different things. Like you have to play in the game to almost get a feel for how it goes. So I do think that this will kind of help give okay, how did you feel when you did it? Or how did you feel when you did this? So now that could be part of the plan where, okay, well, he struggles with lateral movement. Okay, we've got to work on the lateral movement. So his conditioning was, okay, we got to work on this condition. So it kind of helps them kind of work on the plan or enhance the plan or for whatever plan he's on. I don't know what plan he's on. I'm just saying that some games will answer more questions than the practice or the workouts, because the little game film that I seen that they said he played in was very slow movement, very slow reaction time. So you don't know if it was choppy. It wasn't consecutive. So that kind of viewing that told me that he's working to get there, but it's more time needed.
What are you going to be looking at in particular as far as movements go out there? Like, is there I know someone said earlier, talked about, can movement, pivoting, stop starts. That's a great question. Great comment. Is there anything specifically in that list or out of that list that you're going to be looking at to see how he does?
Well, I mean, conditioning is number one. The reason why conditioning is number one, because a lot of times people get injured because they aren't very well conditioned.
True.
And conditioning, most people think conditioning, you think, well, you're tired. But a lot of conditioning is the strength of your body.
Yeah.
Being able to maintain that level of play, of playing competitive basketball at the highest level. So that, I believe that's number one. Yes, the movement as far as defending people, pick and roll defense, rebounding out of his range. If he's able to do that, I believe he can score. He's already proven he can score on one leg. So that I know he can do. But it's all of those different things where teams are going to try to take advantage of where you are. So I would say the reaction time, movement, landing, and the conditioning is all I'm interested to see, like, where he's at.
So I think you kind of referenced it, but the blue and white scrimmage, the one they had like last week, that that's more of like a pretty much a practice. Not really that's not really game shape. You're not really looking at game.
Yeah, I didn't. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing that they kind of show, but I didn't take that to be how a game would really be. Let's put it that way.
Right. Interesting. So obviously, Embiid's the headline tonight. Grimes will be making his return to Philadelphia tonight in the lineup tonight, as I just saw an hour ago. So Grimes, Maxey. What are you going to be looking at from the guards and some of the new faces in this preseason finale tonight?
Well, I mean, first off, the guards. Unfortunately, McCain is injured, but I'm excited about the guards. I mean, you got a nice young group that can grow together. I know they can score. But I want to challenge them to, I would say not listening to me, but I would like to see them be scrappy, defend more, put pressure on teams, push the ball offensively, but also pressure them defensively. Be a havoc on both sides of the ball, because I think they have the athletic ability, talent, and the depth to do that. So hopefully that's kind of who we are. That after seeing the Pacers pick up full court and get to the finals, I don't know why we can't do that with the guys that we have on the perimeter. Yeah. That we can't be that type of team. So I challenge those guys to be that, and rotate who's doing it or rotate who's pressuring out top. But I think we have the depth to be that type of team defensively, and then those guys that continue to attack and share the ball and ball movement and create opportunities getting into the paint to make it easier for everyone.
Tej, what are you looking at tonight?
I want to see in kind of relation to Embiid, not specifically about Embiid, but how they kind of play around him. Are they going to, because they play so much without him in the offseason period, right? So I just want to see if they kind of, how those two meet. Are they going to kind of, I know Nurse has talked about passing the ball, getting out of people's hands, but that's easier said than done when you have Joel back there, right? I wonder how much of it's going to be ball watching with Embiid and how much they're going to how much ball movement we're actually going to see with these players, because I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, I know Eric Gordon said he couldn't wait to play with Embiid. He said I can't remember even playing with him, but I remember when I came to Philadelphia, being able to play with a guy like that was going to open up a game for me as well as him. And that's a guy who's going to be deep on our bench. He's excited to play with Embiid. So a lot of guys haven't played with him yet. I mean, I think Grimes going to play maybe one game with him last year.
Man, yeah.
So there could be a learning curve for sure. So before we get to the next topic, we got a comment here from the Bull RJ. Appreciate you, Bull RJ. First off, how do you feel about McCain rocking your jersey, Eric? I know you got to feel honored.
Yeah, it's nice, man. It's always good to see people wearing number 20, especially when they balling. He's been playing well, so hopefully we get him back and healthy and playing the way he was that first year. So always I can always claim that number 20, so it's always good to see somebody balling in that uniform.
You don't get territorial about your number?
I think we all do. I think it's good to see somebody else wearing it, but we all think we wore it the best.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think I would like to think when people think of number 20 with the Sixers, they would probably think of me first. I'm
Oh, definitely.
I'm sure he would probably think, and I'm sure people older than me would probably say, "No, that's Doug Collins' number." So it kind of depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I mean, between you and Doug, it's big shoes to fill. So he's got,
Yeah.
if he wants to be remembered as 20, he's got to prove it.
Yeah, I know the logo that they're bringing back this year. I know, but I've seen Twitter conversations online. They say, "What's a Sixer player outside of Allen Iverson do you think of when you see this logo?" And all the comments are either you or Aaron McKee, but it's you and Aaron McKee, the only two comments people said.
Yeah, that's jersey uniform associated. Yeah, it's pretty interesting that like almost every team I played for in the NBA. I never had a team that had the traditional colors.
Okay.
The original colors for that team. I didn't have the original colors with the Sixers. I didn't have the original color with the Sonics.
Oh, that's funny.
Then the Cavs, we kind of went to it, part of it, one of the uniforms, but it wasn't the original colors. Because we wore the blue.
And they weren't doing like special like jersey nights, like special like retro nights back then.
Yeah, we wore the retro. We wore the orange in Cleveland, and we wore the red in Philly, and we wore the original Sonics when I was with Seattle. But when I was with those teams like Philly and Seattle, we didn't wear the original colors
on a consistent basis. Yeah.
No, we didn't wear them at all.
Did we have the when you were there with the Sixers? Didn't they have the ones? It's a PHILA, but it was on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm saying that was one game. I'm saying
our I see what you're saying.
Did not consist of colors.
Gotcha.
In either team. Yeah,
they just switched because AI played with his rookie year with those jerseys, so they just switched before you got there.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's my until I got to Cleveland, I had never played with the traditional color of a franchise. The end of my career.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, that's a big part of the reason why people, when they think of these jerseys, think of you and Aaron McKee and stuff. Because
we were the only ones that really wore them.
Yeah. It's all you wore. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the whole. What did you think of the whole photo shoot they did? Like with paying homage to all you guys and that black top where they had all the jerseys behind all the players and they were like doing posing for the photos. What did you think of the photo shoot and kind of the release of all the black jerseys?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, to see them back, the guys seemed to be genuinely excited about it. So hopefully the Philly fans are just as excited about it and. It'd be good to kind of see. I know a lot of people have been clamoring about the black uniforms, but hopefully we win the games when they use them.
Yeah, hopefully some of that magic rubs off on them.
Yeah.
Forget the jerseys. I want the wins like you guys.
Yeah, hopefully we win the games.
Yeah, hopefully they can get to a point where those jerseys
maybe they can keep them in the rotation or something if we win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, because if we don't. Those jerseys are not going to make it any more watchable. I'll tell you that much.
Well, we get to a point where they go to the finals and they have the finals patch like you guys did with those jerseys.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic here. Just kind of continuing with the obviously the season being here, season's greetings. Obviously, this team. There's always an asterisk next to the team until we talk about injuries and stuff. You got Paul George, McCain's injury, and then Embiid's coming back from injury. That's just usually the looming thing over this team. But if we put that aside, the injuries, what are you most excited about with this season coming with this roster? And also, what are you most worried about if we just took injuries out of the equation altogether?
I mean, if injuries are out of the equation, I mean, that's, obviously I think that's the number one thing. I think building for the future and how that's going to look. You have, especially on the perimeter, you have some young guys and getting to see them gel. I want to see how that goes. Obviously your number one concern is injuries, but like you said, not speaking on that, I would say it's because of injuries, but it's the lack of continuity going into a season.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at some of the other top teams, majority of those teams have already been together and played a lot together. Probably our biggest competition right now with injuries and all of that, but in the East would be the Knicks, right? And what's their biggest thing? They've played together.
Yep.
So the continuity, the meshing, we're no different than the team that, Atlanta Hawks that really made one big change. Like, if you look at the continuity, we're really no different than them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a concern. And the more we get guys playing and the more we get them back and healthy and the sooner we get more reps together, the more success we can have moving forward.
Yeah. Other than just being excited about seeing this team finally play together on a consistent basis without injuries, that aside, I want to see how we've been such a kind of not old team. I mean, because two of our stars are, getting up there, I guess, but we've always been a ready now team, right? Ready to win now. Whereas I think now we have that element to us, but we also have this development young player side, which we haven't had in a while, right? So I want to see how that goes because you have very different playing styles on the floor with McCain, VJ, Maxey, with speed and pacing. And then you have George and Embiid, more of a ball keeping half court if you want to. So how are they going to adapt? Like, is one side going to adapt to the other side? Or are you going to, play it by matchup? Or are you just going to be able to kind of wear different hats? Are you going to be able just to say, oh, against this matchup, we need to go this lineup and speed it up. Against this matchup, we need to go more half court and slow it down. I'm really, really curious and really excited to see how they do that. I think it'll take a little while because of all the changes and integration with all the different people playing together. But I'm really excited to see the balance. And I just feel like this year is just different than past years. It feels like in the past, we just had more or less the same team minus some tinkering. And we went into the season saying, well, this is what we have. Let's just see how we are this year. Let's roll the dice with the same old two dice. But this year, I just feel like we have a different component to it all. And I want to see how we balance that. As far as what I'm worried about again, outside of injuries, I feel like we're a bit incomplete. I feel like we never 100% sorted out the four. I feel like that's still a question. I know lately I've been seeing a lot of fans on Twitter want Barlow signed to a standard contract and play him at 4. Is that the answer? I don't know. I don't know if it's on a contending team. So I think that's my big worry. What are we going to do at the 4 for the season? Because I don't think we have a solidified. I feel like we've been talking about that for 2 years, but then Yabu came and looked great at 4, and then we're like, okay, we might have a 4 now, and then he's gone for whatever reasons. So yeah, that's my biggest worry.
Yeah, well, because I was going to say that's the only worry I had is obviously for taking not talking about injuries is the 4 position. But I did like what I saw from the guys throughout the like in Abu Dhabi and some of the preseason games. Dominic Barlow seems like a really good prospect, a guy who can bang, get rebounds. We haven't seen Watford yet, but I'm really excited about Watford, what he can bring because he does play this kind of point forward kind of role. And he's a big body.
Why haven't we seen him? He's injured.
He's injured, yeah, and they don't know when he'll be back. Like at least 2 weeks, so he won't be playing next week.
He was injured in camp.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
welcome to Philly, I guess.
Cheesesteak and an injury report. There you go. Wait, where would they hand you? Where would you get off the plane? Cheesesteak and a cast.
Yeah,
it's hamstring injury. Yeah, hamstring stuff is tricky too.
Yeah, man, you don't know it. I mean, the thing about it is, it's not that it's tricky, but it's also different for everyone. You know what I'm saying? So it's what someone could play with it and be back in a week, and someone could take 3 to 4 weeks or 6 weeks.
Yep.
So
And you don't want to play once too premature and
hard.
then be out another 2 months on top of that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I didn't know what was I didn't really pay attention to the injury. I just hadn't seen him out there in the preseason. Y'all know I don't pay attention to preseason like that. But I just didn't know that he was legit. You don't have to be injured to sit out nowadays.
that's true. That's true. The worry on injury reports is a lot less than it used to be.
So I didn't really know the extent. So thanks for letting me know that.
Yeah, so the with the 4 spot being Barlow and probably Oubre starting at the 4. I've seen like Tony Jones, one of our new writers, our beat reporters, is saying that he'll probably be starting at the 4 at some points this year, or at least in the beginning of the season without Paul George. Yeah. That is kind of a worry, since that is like the rebounding has been just a problematic thing for us the last 2 years or last few years. I guess that's the only thing I'm kind of nervous about. Not that Wofford is going to be that much better at it, because I mean his averages over the years haven't been high. He's not a high rebounding guy, but he does give us a versatility to that 4 spot that we haven't had in a while. So
basically, it's not solidified at all.
So the 4, yeah. So I mean, the question, I mean, I guess whoever is at 5 will kind of determine maybe who's at 4.
That's true.
Yeah. And we're going to get into that in a little bit here. But yeah, just interesting. I thought Barlow was pretty solid, though, as far as like a rebounding 4, and he hit a couple of spot up threes during preseason. Again, it's preseason, but there's a lot to like from what we saw from Barlow. All right. So then, okay, talking about ball handlers here. So Nick Nurse recently said that he expects to use multiple ball handlers at once when Maxey is off the floor. Eric, usually with his team in the last few years, there's usually a guy, and Shake Milton was the main ball handler when Maxey was off the court. We've always had a guy to go to when Maxey was off the court. With Nurse saying this, and then also at the beginning of the offseason talking about we want to see what Edgecombe looks like with being a primary ball handler. Is there a benefit to having multiple guys who can be that ball handler for the team when Maxey's off the court, instead of having a go-to dude when Maxey's off?
Well, I mean, let me ask this question. When he say we will use multi-ball handlers when Maxey's off the court, is he saying that when he's off, any of those guys can bring the ball up the court?
That's what it sounds like.
Saying it may be this guy that comes in and handles the ball, and if this guy isn't in, it's another guy.
I interpret it as different guys will just bring the ball up when Maxey's not on.
And if it's that, I do not like that.
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
Because I think if you want to be a running team and you want to push the tempo, if say for instance, Boney gets a rebound, right? And you have multiple ball handlers. Who's going to get the outlet and who's not? How you determine who's going to get the outlet?
You're going to waste about 3 seconds.
You have 2 guys waiting instead of running up the court. So
or both run down the court and no one stays back.
Nobody waiting. That's what I'm saying. So you're going to have to establish who your guy is.
Yeah. Yeah.
If this guy's in the game, if Maxey's in the game, he's the primary ball handler. If somebody else is in the game and he gets a rebound, yes, he pushes it. But if he doesn't get a rebound, he's gone. Maxey's that guy. If Maxey's out, DJ's the guy that brings the ball up the court. If somebody else gets the rebound on the guard, he can push it. But if a big gets it, we're getting it to him. So he has that responsibility of going to get the ball. If you want to be a running team that puts pressure on the defense and flattens the defense, you have to be able to get up the court. So you can't establish that and get up the court if you have multiple guys, including the rebounder, all not even running and getting past half court.
So you're saying there should be a pecking order, an established pecking order.
Yes.
But
you can have multiple guys that can do it, but everybody on the court still knows who the primary ball handler is with the guys on the court.
Maybe that's what it is. I just didn't interpret.
That's why I asked. That's why I was asking him, like, how did he say it? Like, how did he mean it? Now, he might mean it one way or another, but I'm just saying, hopefully he means it the way I'm talking.
That would be a great follow-up
the
question.
other way, I do not like when teams
credentials.
do that. Teams do that, then say they want to run. You can't run and be like that.
Yeah, not efficiently,
not consistently. Like you're not going to do it. Like you're going to have guys, and then some of the worst runners. If you watch a team play, some of the worst guys running and getting up the court are guys, myself included, that usually get outlets. I would have coaches, and I hated film. I would have coaches put film of me not running the court whenever I didn't get an outlet. Because in my mind, I'm like, that was rest time. Oh, I don't have to push it this time? So I was one of the worst runners when I didn't get the ball. Because I always waited. So if I wait and then I don't get it, then what do I have to do? Now I got to run even harder to get up the court. And my body wasn't conditioned in the league, and my body-mind game wasn't conditioned for us to get the rebound and just take off. Like, you got to be conditioned for that. You train for that. That's when you run plays, you run secondary offense and primary offense, you train yourself, get rebound, butt to the sideline, outlet, get wide, push the ball, swing it, push up the court. You practice that stuff. So now you're telling me I'm going to get in the game and don't do that? Don't do what I just been practicing for camp the whole time. That's how guys can go into the season and not be successful. That's why I'm trying to clear. I'm trying to clear like what it is that he's talking about.
Plus, you play with AI.
Now you guys see why I don't like all that anybody bringing up stuff because now you get into form and you get into doing stuff that you haven't practiced.
Yeah. And you play with AI, Eric. So AI got that ball, he was gone.
Yes. And I knew if he got a rebound, he was going to push it. But what I also knew was AI wasn't going to get us into an offense. He was going to try to score the ball.
Yes.
You see the difference? So now I know I got to get wide. Now I'm still telling guys what to do. Go screen him, fist, go get him, screen, run a drag. Like he really wanted to drag. Sometimes he didn't want to pick and roll because they were doubling. So slip out. Don't set a screen. He don't want a screen. Just slip out. Get away. Give him ISO. Push him to this side. Clear out. Yeah, go left. Come through. Go to the post. But you're still talking to guys. You're still kind of leading the offense, even though you don't have the basketball.
This is completely different, right?
But it don't have to be different. But even though that guy is the primary ball handler, who's the primary talker? Who's going to get you the set? Who's going to tell people what to do? That's usually your primary ball handler. That's usually your primary ball handler. But he don't necessarily have to do it with the ball in his hands. But it helps because he can kind of organize it. But more than anything, what helps the best is for people to be put in position to do what they do best and what they've practiced.
Yeah. Because even though if you didn't have the ball, if you did have the ball, your role didn't change.
Yes. So now you're telling me a guy that get the ball that we know is a 3-and-D, but now he's bringing the ball up the corner, he's up the court, and he's not doing what? Get in position to be a 3-and-D.
Yeah.
Because we like different guys bringing the ball up the court. Now, I'm not saying that's what Nurse is talking about. I'm just saying I hope that's not what he's talking about.
Yeah. Or if they're experimenting to see, maybe they don't know who can be second in the pecking order, and they're doing this to experiment to see who's got better ability to be number two.
And if that's the case, then you have to create your offense and cater your offense to the strengths of the guys that you have.
Yeah. So it could be an auditioning period to see who's going to be number two behind Maxey to do that.
Then that's also something that should have been addressed during the offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but based on some of the pressers and commentary I've seen from Nurse throughout this offseason, he's talked about how we have a lot of guys who can bring the ball up. And he mentioned Wofford as one of them. He mentioned Paul George as one of them, Edgecombe, Grimes, all these guys. So it does seem that they
I know for sure, and I agree with everything that he said, that they can bring the ball up the court. But bringing the ball up the court and running a team aren't the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know one of the last times we spoke, we talked about Edgecombe, and in the preseason game, they wanted to see him bring the ball up the court. What did you see from summer league and from preseason of Edgecombe's ball handling duties? Did you like what you saw from Edgecombe in that?
It's going to take time. He can handle the ball. That he can do. But it's a fine line, because a lot of guys that are used to playing on the wing that can't handle the ball, they always start out as kind of more passive, because they're trying to pass and get everything set, but then they kind of push to the side what they really do best, scoring the basketball. So it's a really real fine line on being able to discern when I could be more aggressive, when I could set the team up, when I need to attack, when I need to set guys up, when I need to call for pick and roll. So that takes time, especially for him. That's why I said it was fine, but it's going to take time for him to gain that experience and then understand when he needs to be aggressive, when to advance the basketball, when not to advance the basketball. Time and possession matters. If a guy's hot, getting the shot, knowing what play gets him a shot, and all of those things, they take time and experience.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I brought it up earlier about wanting to see this mix of experimental youth and vet contention, because we're a team that still win now, but yet we have a large part of our team that's kind of experimenting and learning to play in certain roles. So it's just like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, because we're still trying to win and we still have championship aspirations if everyone's healthy. And we're talking about a lot of wait and see experimental with the season starting in like 5 days. So that's,
Yeah. But yeah, as so far, I mean, Edgecombe's still in this developmental period still. So we're going to, it's going to be a lot of trial and error.
Schoolboy, man.
Schoolboy, Eric being nice, tough Jericho, my main man can't troll past half court.
Who are you talking about, man?
I think he's talking about VJ, right?
Oh, that's low. No, he can. That's what I'm saying. He can handle the basketball. But I'm saying handling the basketball to score and handling the basketball with somebody pressuring you and you trying to run the offense, you trying to do all that, that's not the same, man. And that's why I said that's going to take time. Like I don't think we should go into the season with VJ being the second guy for that responsibility.
Right.
For that responsibility. I do not think he should be the second guy for that.
Are you even fully sold on – I know we've talked about this before, but it's been a while. Are you even fully sold on Maxey being someone who can just set up the offense for everyone full time? Because it sounds like we're like fully invested in him being the main creator.
Well, I mean, here's the difference with Maxey. Maxey has shown a high ability to score the basketball.
Yes.
So his ability at a high level to score the basketball has helped him be the lead guy, because what it does is teams have to be aware of him and they have to double him or they have to shrink their defense, which allows him to get other people's shots because his ability to score. Now, he's not going to be a set guy up guy. He's going to be, I'm going to score, and based on how I'm being defended, it's going to be his responsibility to find other guys.
Yes.
Now, your guy, your secondary ball handler behind him may have a different responsibility when he has the ball. Right?
Yeah.
I'm saying VJ isn't a good enough scorer right now to have that responsibility and score. I don't think he's a set-up guy to have that responsibility to just set up. I think we need to just figure out what he does best and let him do that. I don't think being the primary ball handler does that. I think if they put him in the primary ball handler, in my opinion, they're struggling how to use him.
Yeah. Who would you, just curious then, who would you make second ball handler behind Maxey?
I mean, really, I don't know if we really have a true ball handler behind. I think, but Grimes has shown more of responsibility to do it more than VJ has, based on last season. I mean, you can have a guy like Paul do it, but I think that with Paul doing it, you're taking away some of the other stuff that he may bring to the table. But you can do it from a two-guard front. You can do it from a different thing, because you have Paul, you have Joel, you have different guys with size that can catch in the high post, and you can run your offense through that. So you don't necessarily need a penetrating guard to be successful with it. But if you don't have that, then you have to find actions. Guys have to be able to get us into action. You got to run sets. You got to run plays. You got to do different things. You got to change sides with the ball. Because if you don't have that guy that's going to make it easier for you, especially without Joel. If Joel was playing and he is the normal Joel, a lot of that becomes simplified, because you can simply come down and run a play, get him in his spot, hit him, boom, cut, spot up, do whatever you got to do. But if he's not in there, now all of a sudden you got to run action. Like I said, change it from side to side, get a guy cutting, dive, slip through, do different things to trick the defense based on who you're playing. You know how they play, how they defend, which personnel do they have, which guy, challenge their weakest link. Is a guy bad in cuts? He don't see the man in ball. Is this guy bad in pick and roll defense? This guy bad in ISO defense? You chase matchups. You do all of these different things, and that's from game to game. So you're telling me that we're going to do all that, and we don't even know who our primary ball handler is? And we want to win a championship.
Second primary ball handler, I guess.
Yes. Secondary, third, fourth, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Schoolboy says saw plenty of Grimes backing up Brunson in New York.
So, I mean, I say he has to be the guy right now. I would say that he has to be the guy over VJ right now. I don't think VJ needs that responsibility right now.
Yeah.
Something he can grow into, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he could eventually get there. I just don't I didn't see enough of him having that primary responsibility right now.
Yeah. All right. So I'm seeing a comment here from Marley11ST. We're about to get into that, buddy. He's asking about the Embiid and Bono minutes. So that's our final topic here. So our final topic here, Nurse has kind of been teasing at running Embiid and Adem Bona together on the floor. The quote was, "We're trying to be a little bit versatile and interchangeable with who's down and who's up. But the reality is that Joel likes to be up, and he's going to be up a lot." Eric, what do you think about this combination of Bona and Embiid on the floor together? What do you think it could work?
I think it's situational. I'm not sure if it. I'm not convinced it's a every game lineup right now. I would love for it to be that way. It really all depends on how Joel looks. It really, because I think we can. Bona can be trained to be more aggressive and more on the perimeter and switching screens and be a little. I think he can be trained to kind of do that a little more. But I think Joel has to. He has to be the one that's a little. We got to see his versatility and how he's moving, but Joel's ability to shoot from the outside offensively makes it possible.
Yeah,
Bona has proven, especially this summer and in this preseason, that he's a definite lob threat, and he understands how to get to that spot. He understands, keeping himself flat in the dunker area, and making that his defender cover more space. He has kind of gravitated to that, and they've done a good job of developing that. So offensively, they're probably closer than defensively, because of Joel's ability to score from the outside. But that being said, how much do we really want Joel primarily on the outside too? So that's why I say it's a situational thing and probably short stints in games, because we also have to look at the personnel of who we're playing.
Yeah.
If we aren't going to punish Bona with a smaller guy If you can't punch them on the boards or make them pay or anything like that offensively, then you're going to have to really gauge how effective it can be.
And if Bono can guard that same guy on the outside.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to have to see. Like, that it is a trial basis, really. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the issue we brought up with not having a true four kind of bleeds into this, because we probably wouldn't be talking about this if we just had a, lock and load four all the time. But I think having that open kind of brings this kind of possibility.
I don't necessarily think that it's a outrageous idea, because you look at let's look at Atlanta, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
With them having Porzingis, we could easily play those two against whoever Porzingis plays with.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So there's teams. So we play Milwaukee, right? We could play them with Giannis, because we'd rather have Bona guard Giannis than Joel.
Yeah.
So if you look at New York, now New York is a little tricky. Well, if they have Cat and Robinson in there, we can do it.
Yep.
So that's some of the top teams in the East.
Yeah. I think of the others.
So it can be done, but it just has to work. You know what I'm saying? It just has to work. Like, we got to, and it's something I think that they're going to try, and I think it should be. We should take a look at it.
Yeah. Again, I like the experimenting thing. We're experimenting a lot. We're experimenting. Ball handlers 4 and 5, but I mean,
that's the biggest. Remember when I talked about my biggest issue was the continuity. We don't have that. We don't really have anything going forward of who we are. We're just like, we haven't established we can have a culture as far as how we are and how we respond and how hard we practice and all that, but we don't have a culture of how we play because we haven't played together.
It'll take a little while. And then George will come back in a few weeks, and so.
Yeah, McCain in 2 weeks, and they said in about 2 weeks, and then George in a few. Although George is progressing positively, they said he won't play in the opener, but it doesn't seem like he's far off. I mean, he says practicing in 5-on-5s in practice and stuff, so he is getting to that point.
So Embiid will play first, and then McCain, and then George, you think?
I think PG, then McCain.
Embiid, PG, McCain, that's the order, you think?
That's what I think, yeah.
So is McCain, what did he hurt? His thumb?
I think he tore a ligament in his thumb, right?
Thumb?
But they was more specific on how long he was out, though, right?
Yes.
Like they gave a specific time frame?
It says surgery performed September 30th. Initially expected to start the season with an initial reevaluation set for about 4 weeks after surgery. As of October 15th, he was still in a brace, but was progressing and undergoing minimal drills with a potential return of November 8th, 2025.
Okay.
Yeah, he may be back before Paul.
It was 4 to 6 weeks. But I remember it was a 4 to 6 week turnaround. So that's a 5 week mark, right?
See, that's the thing. Like he's been given a time frame. The other guys haven't.
Does that have to do with it being like a hand, and then he's able to stay conditioned?
No, I think he just had a procedure and an injury that's easier to diagnose the time frame based on what we've seen. Where the other guys, we don't really know, because it's them. And as their recovery in their bodies and other injuries. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like everything involved with them. So you don't really know. Whereas with him, it's really a thumb. It's an injury he hasn't had, and it's a little easier to, dissect. Like, they may come back, but I think he comes back and stays.
Yes. Yeah. He comes back, stays. I think his minutes get solidified pretty early, whereas I think George and Embiid, we're going to have a ramp-up process.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Watford thing is interesting. So I don't know. I didn't know much about his injury history. So he's been day-to-day pretty much the entire offseason with hamstring tightness, right hamstring tightness. But this is an injury that's a reoccurrence for him. He missed the start of the season last year and sat out 20 games due to a left hamstring strain. So yeah. And this one's a right hamstring tightness, so it's a different hamstring this time. So is that concerning, Eric? It's just a hamstring injury because you said it could be 2 weeks, it could be 6 weeks, it could be just.
Yeah, I mean, it's concerning because he just sat out 20.
Yeah.
So you don't know a guy that has that history. He could be hesitant, or he can have the history that he can miss 20 games.
Yeah.
So yes, that's very concerning.
20 games is a lot. That's like 2 months? 2+ months?
Yeah.
All I know is you struggling with making the amount of games you have to make to be eligible for awards.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Not to say that he's, he may get an award, but I'm saying he could be 6th man of the year. He could be anything.
That's true.
But I'm saying, like you are,
especially if he's our backup point guard.
Yeah, backup point forward.
Primary ball handler when Max is off the floor.
Well, luckily he's on a bargain discount contract, Eric, because otherwise Teja would be having a conniption fit right now.
Oh boy, I'll tell you.
Of course, he always in somebody's pockets. So,
I'll tell you, man. I mean, Wofford can take his time. Money's right.
It is a good deal. 2 years, $5.3 million for a guy who does a lot of different things and could bring a lot of stuff to this team. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with tonight in Embiid's return, first time in a while. So it's good to have Embiid back, and it's good to be back with you guys in the show. We'll be back next week. We'll keep you guys updated on our YouTube channel and our Twitter account as to what days we'll be going live. We're going to try to fluctuate it based on the Sixers schedule to do our weekly live shows for you guys. But excited to be back and happy that you all were here, and it was good seeing you fellas.
All right,
yeah, man.
Take it easy.
Likewise.
Have a good weekend, fellas.
All right, guys.